Hello, folks. Yeah, I said on the last one I was getting fed up of doing videos about these subjects. About church, about offence, about all this sort of stuff. But the reality is that, of course, I'm going to church. Because I'm going to church, I see all this stuff. If I see it, I speak about it. Yeah. So, yeah. But when I say I hate speaking about these things, it is true. It just gets to the point in the end I just get fed up with talking about the same things over and over. That's because that's what you see all the time. It is the case that that's what you see. So it's like, okay. Yeah. It's a shame. It is a shame that well, certainly that's what's been seen over a number of years. I say hopefully I'm hopeful that we're going to see better. Yeah. See, I mean, for me, I'm trying to work out what I should do because I don't know. Well, as I said, the reality is things like going to church meetings, going to stuff like that. To me, there has to be enhancement, as I said before. Either I enhance or they enhance. At the moment, do I think that's likely in either direction? No. I don't, not at all. I mean, how on earth can I enhance at the moment? You know, if I'm in this situation where I'm not to share, what can I do to enhance? I can do what I was doing before. I can go and help to set up things for the Tuesday night meeting. Yeah, I can do that. That helps. I can do the washing up after church. That helps. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if I'm honest, of course, yesterday, not going to church, was that purely because of the fact of tiredness? No, I don't think it was. I think that was an easy excuse to make. A very easy excuse to make. Because when motivation is gone, then yeah, it's difficult. So, I don't know what to do. I'm going to try and seek to be led and seek what Father wants me to do. Because certainly with regards to going, I mean, as I say, going to meetings where they want people to share, generally speaking, I think for now, probably not a good idea. Maybe in a bit of time, maybe that's going to be suitable. I don't know. For now, no. Yeah. Well, I'd also say, you know, if I'm looking at a situation that talking about all of that, yeah. Well, you think about it in this sense. Certainly, the other people involved, they've got people they can go to. They've got people they can talk to about it. I can talk to God, or I can talk to myself, or I can talk to the internet. You know, so, yeah. So, yeah, I was trying to work out, am I still trying to work through it? I don't know. Don't know. Possibly. I don't know right now. So, yeah. So, I mean, one thing I do hope is that tomorrow that will change. But to be honest, if I'm still thinking of going to church in the future, then I think issues with church will still be very much a point to talk about, especially when it's very unlikely that they're going to be dealt with anywhere in the near future, which I don't think they are. Well, as I say, I mean, do I think these things are going to be dealt with in the church, just generally speaking? But they need to be, so therefore I think they will be. I think it really is as simple as that. They need to be. The harvest cannot be brought in with the church as it is right now. That is pretty much a certainty, and if that's the case, then things will be dealt with, because the harvest needs to be brought in, and God completely understands that. Yeah. Well, I mean, as I say, I mean, to me, when I've heard people speak about the gently approach and stuff like that, not saying things that could offend people, stuff like that. Yeah. It makes me smile a little bit, because I know that with the situation as it is, if we are in the last days, that harvest does have to come in. And I don't think God in any way, shape or form is going to bring it into the church as it is right now. So, as I said earlier, there are two choices. Either get this church sorted out, which won't be done gently, because if God's going to use this church, then it's going to have to get sorted out. And there's going to have to be, there's going to be a lot of kicking and screaming, I do believe. That's quite likely. There's going to be a lot of people in the church that leave the church because of this. Well, because they've got used to being pampered and protected. And if the church is going to get sorted, protecting people already in the church from themselves and from reality of where they are, I don't think that's going to be something that God is too concerned about. I think God's going to want a dose of reality to hit people, because, as I said before, if you think you're fairly close to where you need to be, there's no urgency. If you realise that you are so far away and that how things look right now is terrible, then you're just going to drop on your knees and go right down with your face on the ground, begging God to do whatever it is that He wants to do. That's where the church needs to be. For the church to get sorted out, I think that's the only way. I do now. I think that's most likely to be the scenario. Because, the only other option really is for God to start a brand new church. God to start a brand new way of doing things. And that's going to take time, and that's going to take time for that to establish. I don't think that will be the way that God does things. No. But, getting what's there sorted and doing it quickly, if it has to be done quickly, it won't be gentle. And I really don't think we have time for it to be done gently. So, with that being the case, I'm hopeful, but it's a bit concerning because, when you look at the situation as it is right now, it looks bad. It does look very bad right now. That is true. But, as I said before, I'd rather see things from this point of view because it does help. We're only seeing a tiny piece of the picture, and because we're only seeing a tiny piece of the picture, it means that really it will look bad. But in time we'll start to see things as God sees them, and we will see a bit more in the picture and a bit more of what God is actually doing. Because, What I can see now, I can't see what God is doing in the background. I can't see that. No. God can, but I can't. I can't see it from where I'm looking. Of course I can't, and other people can't either. Yeah, so does it look bad? Yes. Yeah. But as I say, I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any pastors or any leaders of churches, but I do think that if you're going to have plans to attack things as they are, you've got to look at what's been done in the past or tried in the past, and if what you're doing is very, very similar to what they tried in the past, bin it. It ain't going to work. Well, certainly, if you're taking your ideas from your education in Bible college and stuff like that, then, yeah, that's a foolish quarry, that is. Yeah. I think your chances of it working is, yeah, it's as close to being impossible as you could possibly get. Certainly with the situation, I mean, you know, if the church was in a far better position, I mean, if the work had been done, well, it's just like, you know, if you take a rundown house, but a team goes in and prepares all the work beforehand, you know, sands down the wood and, you know, puts all the paper down so you can paint, and prepares everything, fills in the holes and stuff like that, then if you have a plan to go through and do all the work in 4 days, that can be done. As long as all that preparation has been done beforehand. The problem in the church is, in most occasions, the preparation work has not been done. So with that being the case, you've got to come in, you've got to do all the preparation work, and then you've got to figure out how to get it right. And if you're not led, and the problem is not being led is more common than being led, because if you are being led, as I say, and when I've said that people in the church hate joy, that's not being unkind. I'm not trying to sensationalize the situation. I do believe completely that they hate joy. I do believe completely that they hate any sign of God right now. Because if they're trying to be incredibly optimistic about where they are, and they're seeing themselves as somewhere where they're not, seeing someone who's actually doing okay, or being led, so if you're being led as a leader, you're doing okay, yeah, that's going to pee a lot of people off. That's going to be very offensive to people, and they're going to be trying to shut you down. So make sure if you're going to do that, be led, make sure you've got the right people around you, because you need people around you who are going to be strong and are going to help you to stand. Because, yeah, if you're one of the first to do that, to actually be led and do things a different way to bring the church around, then you're going to have to be incredibly strong and have people around you that are going to help you. That's why I think it's so unlikely it's going to be done. Unless God does something dramatic, that is. It's so unlikely it's going to be done, simply because of the fact that there are people involved. Look at the whole situation with the Jewish history. Yeah, God did beautiful things for the Jewish people, and they kept on going away from God, going away from God, going away from God, going away from God. Eventually to come back and see God doing beautiful things, and they went away again pretty quickly. Because that's human nature. You think God's doing it, but you think after a while, we did this and we don't need God. And you go off and you do it, and it goes terribly wrong. But rather than admit that we made a mistake, we continue in it, hoping that one day it would just improve. That's human nature. That certainly has always been the nature of the church. As I said, when I've done videos talking about, look at the likes of Wigglesworth in the 20s, 30s. Where should we be now compared to where we are if there'd been a progressive rise from that? Again, I'm not trying to be nasty, but, come on. If we have people like that, where should we be now? If people in the church think that their church is doing things well, where would we be if that's the case? As I say, 2 years before I went into that Pentecostal church down the road from me, I went in after a service and they said, oh, it's brilliant. Pastor's fantastic, the worship's fantastic, the people are fantastic. When I went into that church, they wouldn't pray for people anymore. This is a Pentecostal church and they won't pray for people. Again, it's a Pentecostal church. Yet 2 years earlier, they were saying they're doing really well. How? People's unrealistic view of where they are is not helping. That's why I say I think God is going to have to bring a dose of reality. How? I don't know. But we all need that. I mean, I certainly got it in September of last year. Suddenly being told by God that the videos I was doing was me trying to fill a gap, talk about the issues that the church wasn't talking about, which a lot of people do. But that was me thinking I've been led for that time. So now my focus is on really trying to be led, but also trying to push that message of, it's about pointing to Him and about being led. When I do videos on that, I feel a lot better because I'm talking about the things that I know are more important and the things that can actually turn things around. When I'm doing things about people taking offence and, all that sort of stuff, it can be useful, but the problem is when you're in church there's a lot of that and you see a lot of that, so therefore I'd rather not talk about that stuff though. Seriously, I mean, you can talk about it to a certain degree, but you have to get to the point of saying enough is enough, and hopefully I've got to that point now. Well, you take care, God bless, I'll speak to you soon. Have a fantastic week and be blessed. Take care of yourself. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.